Hi, welcome to another video. I am so glad if y'all are still watching. I am obviously doing a bunch of different stuff. I don't think we should narrow, like I know for the algorithm on YouTube, it's good to narrow stuff down. It pushes your videos out more, but I feel like for die-hard fans or for fans in general, it doesn't matter what you post. I think that you should be able to post whatever you want, and it's your fans that are loyal that keep your videos going, if that makes any sense. But I am doing just a simple little sweater. I would say when I did the chain, I measured out from hip to hip, or from one side of my hip to the other side of my hip. But I would strongly encourage measure from shoulder to shoulder, depending on if your hips are wider or if your shoulders are wider. For me, my shoulders are wider than my hips. So if your hips are wider than your shoulder, then maybe start there, because you want this a nice little square. Because if you do keep going with the arms, you're gonna want to go all the way up to the underneath your armpits, and you're going to keep going and chain even more out so that you can make the sleeves. But as you can see here, I just made like a vest type of style and then did the sleeves afterwards. So I'll get to that in a second. So right here, I am actually tapering in. So when I get to the end of the inside neckline, I am actually doing a half double crochet. And when I do the rows, when I chained one and went all the way up to my back, I am just doing single crochet throughout this whole thing. So when I get to here, I single crochet, and then when I get to the neckline that I want, which I just measure half of, or I just measure what's in the middle of the back piece, find the middle of the back of the piece, and then I go out evenly as wide as I want. So it's probably about 3 inches on each side. So you go from the middle, 3 inches one side, that's where you start your half double crochets, and then you go out to the end of your piece, and you don't do a half double crochet on the outer part of the piece. You just keep, doing what you normally do. You don't add or take away a stitch. You just single crochet to the end, chain one, and turn back, and then you single crochet all the way and do a half double crochet, and then go back, do a single crochet, and then do a single crochet at the end and chain one, and you just keep going until I think about 3 or 4 inches, because how it sits on your shoulder, because it has to go around your neck and then it has to go over your shoulder. So I think about a row or two. Like when I say row, I mean like the row of colors. Like I think I did 3 or 4 rows of a color. So 2 colors filled up, I think, the top of my shoulders. And then once I did those 2 rows of color, which is 8 rows in all, then I would start adding, and then I add like 2 single crochets in the last stitch, and then I do a couple of rows without adding anymore, and I do the same thing that I did with taking away with the half double crochet. I just chain one towards the end, and then add a chain one, and then go back, and then do in the middle, I add 2 single crochets in the last stitch, and then I chain one, and I go all the way down to the outside of the piece, single crochets, and then I single crochet, chain one, and then go back, and then I add a couple more until it kind of goes out into the middle of my chest. So it should taper into the middle of your chest, and then you go all the way down. So enough on that. Now I did the collar and the bottom. Yes, it did not match up, but it's okay. We're good. So to do the ribbing, I did a single crochet, and you just work in the back chain or the back stitch or the back of the stitch. So you single crochet about 8 stitches or 8 chains, and then you single crochet, and then you do a slip stitch into the working piece on the insides or all around, and then you skip a stitch and do another slip stitch, and then you single crochet in the back loops of that. So I hope that makes sense. There's a lot of videos on it. This is just kind of me walking through what I did. So for anybody listening, if you're more of an advanced person, I try to make this as beginner as possible because it is just single crochets. And to do the ribbing, it's single crochet, but you just work for the back piece, slip stitch into the piece, and then, you know, I don't know. I hope this is helping somebody. But working on the sleeves, so I did not want to spend all of my time on the sleeves because when you work in a circle, sometimes the piece can fan out. So I had to not only worry about narrowing down the sleeves without trying to make rows, because I didn't want to fight making a piece. I like to visually see what I'm making, if that makes any sense. Some people make certain shapes for certain parts of their pieces, but I can't. Sometimes the shapes just confuse me, so I rather work onto the piece like a 3D printer. So I just went around in circles doing a single crochet, and then I found 4 spots, which was the top of the shoulder, the bottom of the armpit or the armpit area, and the front and the back of the armhole. And that's where I decided that I would gather some pieces, but then I would change it kind of, I want to say opposite, but like 45 degrees, I guess is what you would say. I would turn those points 45 degrees. So I had it in the corner between the armpit and the front of the shoulder, and in the corner or above the armpit, or the middle of the armpit and the shoulder, if that makes any sense. I don't know. Again, I'm trying to make this make sense, but I would change those 4 points and shift them so that I'm not just gathering out of one spot. Yes, I could have just made a piece, but visually I wanted it to look like it was gathering. And so I would just go around the armpit, taking in little by little to kind of go to the cuffs. So now I'm working on the cuffs, and I did the same single crochet ribbing where you chain, I think I chained 8 to have like 6 stitches, or no, 8 to have 7 stitches. And you would single crochet in each chain, and then slip stitch into the piece, skip a stitch, and then turn the work around and work back into the back loops of each stitch. And you would chain 1, work back into the sweater, slip stitch, skip a stitch, slip stitch, turn it around, and single crochet, working in the back loop only. So to me, this is simple. If somebody said this, I would get it. So if you're just now starting off crochet, I would say this is not your video, but I think it's the easiest that I could find without showing. I was trying to, oh, look, this is, okay, I was wrong. I did visually show y'all. So this is me working it in. So this is the last chain. Oh, I actually did a double crochet on this. Okay, so double crochet. And another double crochet. And I do that all down the row. I don't know why I'm trying so closely, or trying to show y'all so closely, but yeah, double crochet. So if y'all don't know what a double crochet is, this is what it is. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and pull through 2 loops. but I think these next few clips really show how much of the colors that I did. I think I only used 4 colors: purple, pink, blue, a lighter purple, a darker pink, a more greener blue, yellow, and I think it starts over. Yeah. So I used a bunch of pastels, but different shades of pastels. So I'm going to keep doing videos like this. Make sure you like for me to do more. I also plan on showing y'all the outfit underneath the sweater. So stay tuned if you want to find out more, and stay tuned for my other videos if y'all want to find out more about child exploitation.